everyone. Welcome back to IMHO. Woo!
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm Kelcey.
I'm Lang.
That's my good buddy Lang.
We're here.
We're here. And so are the NBA Finals.
That's right. Nice transition.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, as always, it got me thinking. The NBA has been around for what, 75 years?
Yeah, I believe that's the
75th
number.
anniversary?
75.
Yeah.
NBA 75.
That means there has been a lot of really good teams, including the two teams that are in the finals this year.
True.
But let's rewind. Let's do a little bit of NBA history, Lang. I want your top 3 best NBA teams
Of all
of
time.
all stinking time.
Well, the hard part of this, right? I'm sure you ran into the same hurdles I ran into, is that it's really hard to compare teams from
Then to now.
And even it's hard to compare teams from like 10 years ago to teams now, much less teams from 70 years ago to teams now. So I tend to skew a little more current. The teams I left off.
Ooh, I have like no current ones.
Oh, well, not really current, I would say, but I don't have any teams from like the 50s on my list, 60s.
I
don't have.
I was just going to say I'm not alive back then. I don't think I was alive for any of these.
Yeah,
I
left
was
like
for one.
Bill Russell and those teams off my list, and I know Bill Russell won 11 rings, but
That's fine.
didn't make my list. The teams that just narrowly missed my list were the Bad Boy Pistons, 88-89 Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, Mark Aguirre, the 15-16 Warriors, who lost in the finals to the Cavs, but went 73-9 in the regular season, won 3 games in the finals, were 1 win away. If they had won that 1 game, did they make everyone's list as like the greatest team of all time, or maybe the greatest team of all time? I wonder. Anyway, I have them on my like close but not quite there list.
Yeah, that list for me includes the 1991 Bulls.
Yeah.
And I think that one is close to heart. That's why my middle name is Jordan, actually, because of that season. Fun fact for everyone out there. But let's get into our top 3.
All right, number 3 for me is the 01-02 Los Angeles Lakers.
01-02 Los Angeles
It's like
Lakers.
right in the middle of the little run they had of the 3 championship. To me, the thing that made them that team so amazing, they won 58 games. Shaq and Kobe each averaged 28 points a game.
Oh, I didn't do any Shaq and Kobe teams.
And there's a lot of Laker teams you could put on here, clearly, all those 80s teams.
I have a
Magic.
Lakers team on here, but I didn't think about
I just wanted to go a little more
fast-forwarding.
current. That's the team that swept the Nets in the finals and was dominant. My guy Rick Fox was the captain of that team.
Speaking of the Nets being
Shout out
swept.
Canada.
Hey.
So I went with that Lakers. Who's number 3 on your list?
Number 3 for me is also a Lakers team, but it was before I was born. 1986, 1987.
Yeah.
Kind of that like comeback season. It was Magic, Kareem.
Yep.
They
James
played.
Worthy.
Yeah. He finally like started playing good. They came back. They played the Celtics, who had won the championship the year before, and then that epic.
What a
was it
trend.
6 games, right? It was 6 games in the final, and then they won.
That's a
think
great
it's 7.
transition because for number 2 for me is the Celtics team from the year before. The 85-86 Boston Celtics went 67-15. I was a child back then, but I have vague memories of watching that team play. The starting 5 was incredible. Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. They had Bill Walton coming off the bench. Like a really small rotation. They only played 7-8 guys. But they were just so good. Everybody had such clearly defined roles. They could play different styles of ball. They had to play against the Showtime Lakers, and they managed to beat them. So I went with that. The 85-86 Celtics, number 2. Who's your number 2?
All right,
team?
I'm back in the 80s, but this is actually a team that made your honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
But you know that I love a good villain. I talk about this all the time. I love the villain. So my number 2 is the 88-89 Pistons.
Yeah.
I
fun.
love that they're the most hated team. They just went in and destroyed everyone physically, mentally, whatever. Their defense was insane. 63 wins in the regular season. And then heading to the finals, they beat Larry Bird's Celtics. They beat MJ's Bulls. They were crazy. We're not going to talk about what happened at the end of that season, but I enjoy a good villain, so they make my top 3 as just the best team.
I think we probably both had the same team, number 1.
Does it rhyme with Pulls?
Yeah. And does it rhyme with 96?
It doesn't rhyme
It's
with that,
gotta be.
but that, yeah.
The thing about that 95-96 Bulls team, 72-10 in the regular season.
Cruise through the playoffs.
If you count the playoffs, they played 100 games. They went 87-13 that season. To me, the most amazing part about that, they started the season 41-3. 41-3. And Michael Jordan averaged 30 points a game and was first team all defense. Was the MVP of the regular season, was the MVP of the finals. He would have been the Larry Bird.
This is the year.
Whatever.
This is the year after baseball, right?
Yeah, this was like when he came back. No, this is before 95, 96, right? Because he came back in the. No, you're right. He the first ones were in the early 90s. There. He left. He came back. This was the first of the baseball at post baseball. Because then he left again and came back in early 2000s with the Wizards. So, yeah, you're right. This was when he had come back. This was the team that had, Rodman, Pippen,
who's also one of my favorite players.
Jordan. They were incredible, and I don't really know if there was a better team. I just think that the numbers Jordan put up that year, like no one's ever going to do that again. I don't think.
Yeah, I obviously didn't watch them back then because I was an infant, but I think even just growing up, you just like know about the 95, 96 Bulls.
Yeah. I was a fan of the Atlanta Hawks as a child, and this Bulls team would always just beat the Hawks every single year. So it was frustrating to be in the same division, same conference as the Bulls team, but they're incredible to watch, and you had to respect them.
All right, those are our top threes. We had the same one, but 2 and 3 differed.
Yeah.
That's cool. We want to know your top 3 best NBA teams of all time. Do you think that... No, never mind. I want to know yours. I'm out. We'll see you guys next week.